First of all, welcome to the channel. Lucidity for All mission has two goals. First is to unite the practitioners of lucid dreaming, out-of-body experience and astral projection. The techniques we use are the same, hence we can learn together and have a common ground of understanding. Second is my personal goal to make your lucidity and awareness levels to go through the rooftop, so that you too can have lucid dreams, out-of-body experience and astral projection every night. So subscribe to our channel and activate the notification button so that you are aware when the new tutorial will be out. And now enjoy the ride and let's dive into the subject of today.
Alright, so I have a few updates for what is going on for Lucidity for All and in general with the community. Oh, Heidi is here. Heidi is one of my apprentices. She joined the last workshop. We can hear you. Okay, thanks, Heidi. So I have a few updates to talk to you about, and probably I would like to underline a few points, key points in the practice that are not very well articulated, explained, so that will help you out on your journey and so that you avoid some misconceptions, misunderstandings. So first I will share with you some updates. I restarted again to work with Michael Raduga, so that is a big thing for me, because I never quit on screening what he does, always followed him up, and even in the past when I started going from completely materialistic way to completely mystical ways, I studied all the you name it who is on the world market in this domain of out-of-body experience, lucid dreaming, astral projection. So I studied quite a bit of them, and Michael Raduga always stayed in the great esteem with me. I worked with him for 1 year and a half, about 5-6 years ago. Then I went my way, he went his way, and now we re-catch up again with each other. And he has so I want you guys to know there is a project that Michael Raduga is doing. It's called Elijah, and as you probably, those guys who know about Michael Raduga, he's one of the researchers on Earth, because you may go to YouTube, wherever you go, and find some teachers on internet, and even if they say they do research, but not everyone is doing something really serious in a very well organized manner with enough of people, something really organized. This project is doing some tests on hundreds of people, and the Russian community is advanced compared to any other community right now in this field. I can clearly see it, and this is really sad, because I'm English speaking, so for me it's not an issue. I can see huge communities in English, but there is not much serious stuff being done. Stefan Laberge is doing something, but other than that, tell me who is doing something that is, publishing results in a scientific way or something like that. I don't see much being done. So if you come across this video, do go and check out the project Elijah and have a look on what is going on, and you can take part of the project. You can learn there as well. They will teach you within the university. You can, research institute and the project Elijah, so you can learn within there. There's a lot of free classes as well, quite a bit of videos that you can watch, learn from as well. Many of them are already translated in English, so have a look it's great material for you to mine, rather than get lost in some mystical clouds of I don't tell you who. So you can really get on with real practice rather than getting lost in the mystical. Okay, let's not. I don't like to do critics, so I'm just saying, okay, this is good stuff. Check it out. And so I became one of the speakers within the project, motivating the guys in Russian, and I will be probably animating the English community there. So join the project, have a look. Not only you will be learning with a community, but a community that is serious, really serious community with technical approaches, no mambo jumbo. So you will hear things that will make you progress greatly, and that's what I do. For example, with my apprentices now, is that I picked up. I mean, it's a good thing to do. Is that to put all the students together. So I'm getting all my students from all the years now in one place, and this is great. This is just great. So everyone is talking to each other, communicating the difficulties they have, and one guy will tell the difficulties, and everyone can hear the same difficulties, and there you go. So it's much better. It's much better rather than I used to give a workshop and then do follow up more on a one-to-one manner. But I find the group, the group. So you find guys from the group you went to participate to the workshop, plus you find the guys from from previous webinars, workshops, etc. So you find all of them, and you meet guys who do the same. It's a good way to progress. While I find the general communities with 20,000, 50,000 people, you do make friends there, but it stays too big. Even though some guys need privacy. So small focused groups is good for you. It's good for you. So if you can find such groups, it's good to learn that way. But you must know that the group is good, with good stuff to teach to you. So they must be on the same line with you. Otherwise, you will be hearing again all the mambo jumbo, all the rubbish from all around the world, and you don't know what to do with it. And the progress will be just slowing down because the informations are going all the way. So it's not a good way to learn. Okay, so this is on our update and on Michael Raduga, what he does. From what I know, he is supposed to publish results at the end of the year. The results is based on the research, so he's gonna be publishing it in a scientific way rather than just. So he will be doing it that way. So it's gonna be part of the scientific domain. And so check it out, and I will be also sharing with you the material of Michael Raduga probably regularly from now on. I was committed to do videos every week, and honestly it's quite a pressure on me to come up with a video every Saturday or Sunday while doing the workshops, etc. So I'll be sharing sometime his videos, sometime will be my videos. So that's another update on the YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube channel, let me give you the address for the YouTube channel. 1 second, so you can have access that. But you can look for the channel called Lucidity for All. It's that's the name. Okay, just 1 second. I'll post to you the link for that. So subscribe there. You will have access to all the information that I'm mentioning to you about. Oh, I'm gonna give you a link. Actually, when you click on the link, you can subscribe to the channel directly, so you don't even need to press the button. When you just go there and that's it. You just click on the link and you will be prompted to subscribe. So that's much faster. So here is the link. Have a look. I posted already, I think, 6 or 7 tutorials there, which are quite good, and I spent time on building them up. They are it's good material. It's the short ones, the tutorials that go for 10 minutes, and you will see that there are also lives that go for 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. You can have a look at them. They are good as well, but you need some popcorn and you need some patience to look at them. Carrie, we are supposed to be with Carrie this morning, but she needs to take care of her and her family. So family first, Carrie. No worries. We will do another one with Carrie on Monday, Tuesday, something like that. And Josh is also a friend of Carrie. Okay, guys. So let's do something useful, so we don't stay just sitting in front of each other and hearing kind of just information. Go there, pick up, read, and so I do something good for you. I did a tutorial on that. You can again on the YouTube channel, but I would like to reaffirm, because I do something, but it's missed. It's missed. Not everyone is watching. It's, this week you guys are on YouTube. Tomorrow you will be on Facebook, and then you will be on Twitter. So I noticed that even if the group is 50,000, at the same time there will be 50 people reading, and then it will be, the information will be buried down the comments. So it's that's how it is. That's the way we communicate today. So we have internet, many people, but for you to find good information, and how do you know that I'm good? You don't know. You need to watch it to understand that this guy is making some sense or not. I think I'm not too bad, but you be the judge. So the information that I want to vehiculate again today, I was thinking to do that before the live today, is to reaffirm what is the approach and what is a technique, because I have noticed that there are some individuals, teachers, who have no idea of the difference, and that's a big problem, because if you practice and you don't know what you are doing and what approach you are using, and what are the difficulty of a given approach, then it's like putting fingers in all the holes until you find the G-spot. I know someone who is probably listening who will like that joke. But yeah, you can also put your fingers in all the holes to try to find. Yes. Okay. So techniques, there are hundreds of them. Rope technique, phantom movement, visualization techniques. You visualize yourself somewhere. Teleportation technique. You are laying down and imagining yourself somewhere. This is called technique. You imagine yourself swimming. That's a technique. It's part of teleportation. You are in bed. You imagine yourself in the sea swimming. Lastly, me, I'm imagining myself riding a horse. I love horse riding. It's very engaging to get that move, and riding a horse is very engaging. I even imitate falling from the horse, because it has vestibular engagement where you fall and rotate. That has a very anchoring emotional aspect to communicate to my subconscious to start the dream state. So techniques, it's good to have something. Either I personally find techniques that are either have some emotional aspect, or they're very simple, like phantom movement, or observing images or listening to the sounds is only one sensory input. They're very simple, So they are very easy to communicate to your subconscious to get what you want. Rather than sometimes you will engage in teleportation technique and as an induction technique. When we are talking about approach, the difference between approach and techniques as induction for lucid dreaming, astral projection, out of body experience. So if you use teleportation, you might get sometimes it's a bit complicated to get yourself engaged with all the senses. If you can, it's good, but sometimes it's if it's a bit complicated, then you will be, oh, what am I doing, you know. And another thing is so those are first. Let's settle the difference. You see, I'm deviating quickly. So to recenter the difference. So those are techniques. When I will tell you the approach, you will probably make a better difference between technique and approach. So approach is even the word itself is to come close to something or get in touch with something or go from where you are to arrive at the point where you want to be. So this is the meaning of approach. You want to approach. And what do we want to approach? We want to approach the dream state. So the dream state, and from the dream state you can have your lucid dream, astral projection, out of body, the phase for Michael Radoga, or how I like to call it the shifting, from one reality to another reality, without deep diving into what reality means. But okay, now you have one reality. When you're in a dream state, you have another reality. So how can we approach the dream state? So dream state supposes sleeping. Only in rare occasions we are not in the state of dream without being asleep. So those who know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But in general, what we are practicing is our body goes to sleep, we achieve the dream state, and from dream state we have an adventure with awareness, lucidity, etc. So there are only three ways to approach it. Very often everyone goes and jumps on the difficult way of doing so is by going from waking state to sleeping state directly. So you are doing whatever you're doing, playing with your kids, playing with yourself, computer games or something, having a coffee, and then you decide, okay, let's do some astral projection there, and then you go to lay down in bed and start to practice something. That's the difficult way. Why? Because you go from waking state to sleeping state, and that supposes your body chemistry, state of mind supposed to change from waking state to sleeping state while you are trying to achieve something. So to go to sleep without trying to achieve anything is much easier than go to sleep and trying to achieve something. You know that if your mind is busy, you might have a difficulty to fall asleep. So that's the difficulty there. And another thing is that if you do it as a nap, for example, in the afternoon, so you go to a nap, and who says that you're gonna go to the REM period immediately? Or why? How do you know that you're not gonna end up in a deep sleep instead? So your body needs rest, and you will go to the deep sleep, and you might dream or not dream at all. So you might not be in the right state to do so. So but of course you can practice that, for example, towards the morning. So you already slept 5-6 hours, and then you practice direct approach towards the morning. So that's much better already with the wake back to bed. technique where you wake up after a certain amount of hours you have slept, and then you go back to practice. So that is a better way of using that approach from waking to asleep. So that is also called wild, wake-induced lucid dream. That is that acronym WILD, wild, is also used across all the streams of understanding: astral projection, lucid dreaming, out-of-body experience. But that is not the easiest way. Then there is another one, is DILD, the dream-induced lucid dream. So basically you are in the dream state already, and I like to give the example of a pink elephant who comes and proposes to you to have a beer, and then you tell yourself, okay, pink elephant talking to me, proposing to have a beer, something is fishy, hence you start to understand that you are in a dream state. So that is you realizing within the dream state that you are in the dream state, and you achieve the same result. Some may argue, but prove me wrong that it is not the same. So you achieve exactly the same result, be it by waking to dreaming, or from the dreaming state. It's a spontaneous realization within the dream state. And then the other one is upon awakening. So that's the third approach. So imagine the box, that's the dream state. So you can approach it from the waking state. You can realize within the box, and you can realize upon leaving the box. Because what happens is, as we cycle through the night, we end one cycle, everyone wakes up, even those who think they sleep the whole night in one shot, but actually everyone wakes up and immediately falls back again to sleep. And what happens is that we usually end up one cycle from REM period, and we dive into the REM period again. And what happens also very often is that we experience false awakening. So in general, I do not advise to say that you wake up and you immediately wake up in your waking life. Very often you will wake up in a dream thinking that you are awakened, but you are still asleep. If your partner is next to you, he will confirm that you didn't wake up, you didn't have a cup of water, but you were convinced that you actually woke up and took a cup of water or went to the bathroom, and your partner said, no, you never woke up, I was reading a book the whole night, you never stood up from the bed. So this is the false awakening. So that's the approach. Upon awakenings, you are already in the right state, so it's much better to practice at that point of time. So you see the three approaches: from waking to sleeping, from sleeping, and upon coming out from sleep, upon awakening. So this is the approaches. So wild is not a technique, it's an approach. It's an approach to the dreaming state. DILD is not a technique, it's an approach. So there are techniques that you can use, like entrainment of your prospective memory, blah blah blah, during the day, repetitive reality checks during the day, blah blah blah, which are not very efficient. Those who did it, you know that. To entrain your mind and your subconscious to create that momentum, so that when you are in the dream state, you run the chance to repeat the same kind of tests during the dream time, and then hence realize you are dreaming. Let me make a small pause, see if there are any questions. No. Terry from Kuala Lumpur is here, and Frosty Hughes, yes, he wanted to join the workshop, and then he got busy, so he didn't join. Okay, guys, So we are already half an hour. The time is running. So I will probably do maybe another 15 minutes. So this weekend, by the way, is gonna be the day 3 of the workshop. Oh, that's another update. So a very important update on the format of the workshop. So that's a big news. I did a big change after experiencing for a while. I used to make workshops that last Saturday and Sunday, 5 hours each day, 10 hours intense, one weekend, boom, done. See you when I see you. So instead of doing this, I was doing the follow-up with the guys, do not mistake, and I was not leaving anyone alone even after the workshop. But the issue was there that I only had one night with the apprentices to have success. It still has a high rate success. On the day 1, there will be more than 50% of the guys, 60, 70, sometimes I go to 100. It's not very often, but sometimes everyone has success on the first night. But it's much better to have more time to practice. So what I came up with is, instead of doing it over the weekend, and where you have to be available for 5-6 hours on Saturday and on Sunday, and for USA it will be on Friday night and Saturday night. So I came up with the idea, put it on Sunday for Malaysia, just do 3 hours and 3 hours and split it into 3 days. So it's 3 hours, 3 hours and a half. So we will be doing it every Sunday morning for Malaysia, and it will be Saturday evening for USA. So it will be starting sometime 5-6 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, and it's finishing by the evening time. And for some guys in US, it will be starting by 8 o'clock and finishing by 11 o'clock. So very human hours for USA right now. So if you are in US, and that is on Saturday. So you are not working. Normally on Saturdays, guys don't work. So it's easy for you to attend now, and it's easy for European guys. Okay, they will be like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's a Saturday night, so they can indulge into attending the workshop on Saturday. It's a Sunday 2 o'clock in the morning for them, because on Sunday they will be relaxed anyway. So they will be not asleep from 2 to 5 in the morning. Okay, so that's one thing. And then the second part, second interesting news is that now I did finally the proper recording of the class, so you can hop in into the workshop. I do not advise to hop in on the day 3, but you can hop into day 2 in case you missed the day 1. So you can watch the recording of day 1 if you missed it by 1 day, and hop into the workshop of day 2 because you watched the video of day 1 on your own. You have all your time, and you start to practice, follow up. You immediately put in the group where we discuss all of these things, and you start to practice already before the day 2. So once you have registered for the class, you will have access to all this information. The day 2 is also recorded now, so those apprentices from mine who are watching it, they'll be very happy to see it as well. Day 1 is already available, it's already in full access. Day 2 is going to be available within few days, and day 3 probably by next week. So once you register, you attend the workshops, but you also can review the recorded version where it's a condensate. It's about 1 hour and a half, 2 hours there. Condensate, where you watch, you can pause, take notes, rewind, listen again. Usually I choose my words very carefully, so you need to pay attention to the words I choose, why I choose this word, and I make a very, very precise difference. So I actually rub it into you to understand, like I did today, technique and approach. What's the difference, So while you watch the videos, tutorials, you need to take a block note, take a pen. Don't be lazy and start to make your own idea of what I'm discussing about, you know. Otherwise you're gonna watch another tutorial and then you move on, another tutorial, and you forget altogether. So that's the way for you to progress technically, rather than blah 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 and you forget. Guys, don't be shy, you can send some questions. Frosty, been a busy man, but I love hearing what you have to say on the topic. You are welcome, brother. I miss your videos about the language thing. I didn't see them for a while. I don't know what happened. Yeah, so that's the update, and you can. Oh yeah, so once you have registered, you can attend the workshops so far infinite number of times. So you attend day number 1 on the weekend number 1, the weekend after is day number 2, and then the weekend number 3 is day number 3, and you can re-attend again weekend number 1, weekend number 2, weekend number 3. Now we have the workshops settled until the end of November, so there will be two rows of day number 1, day 2, then number 3. This Sunday is day number 3, so you cannot hop in if you are new to that one, but the day 1 will be the weekend right after. So you can join that one, or if you cannot, the weekend after. The weekend right after is day number 2. You watch the tutorial of day number 1, attend the day number 2, day number 3, and you can re-attend day number 1 anyway. So once you are in the team, you can always hop into any current webinar for free. It's you don't have to pay it anymore, and you access the videos for free. And I put, for those who you don't know the quality of what I do, you can pay just 1 day, but you will not have access to the video tutorials. So you access to day number 1 or day number 2 or day number 3, you choose, it's up to you. You just come and see what's going on during the classes, see the quality, and you can always upgrade it to the full access upon request, and we give you full access to the classes and the materials, etc., and the learning group. So you will not have access to the learning group, because within the learning group all the information is being shared freely. So you can't have access to the group, because in the group you have all the videos, etc. So if you register just for 1 day, you access that 1 day. You have my personal follow-up though. So once you came to learn with me, I don't leave you alone. You always talk to me. Whenever I can, I will answer you. So yeah, so you get the updates of the summaries. You got the updates of Michael Raduga. So he was one of my very important teachers. I really learned good things from him. I pumped it up with other things that I came across, or I pump it up with things that I have developed. But in my esteem, he's probably one of the best, and I come in second. I'm joking. oh, that's good. No, he's really good. Michael is really good. But he teaches mostly in Russian. He's translating as much as he can in English, but it's most materials always come up first in Russian, then it's being translated, so there's always a delay. So you have me, so I am probably a little bit faster to implement the new things in English speaking community than before the information comes out in English. And I know guys do not always focus on it, so I'm here to rub it into you. Heidi, yes, Heidi has just joined the last workshop. So she had a few one or two adventures, I think, already, and so I need to focus her a little bit, because of course the experiences are very amazing for any beginner. The experience is so amazing that the guys forget about what they wanted to do, forgetting the techniques, so so I appear a little bit serious to say, what we are supposed to do, and my apprentice is coming and saying, or this thing happened to me, this stuff happened to me, what is that? What should I do, you know? But my focus is very technical. I do not it's not that I don't listen to you guys, is when you experience this with, you know, it's not my 10 first experiences. I have more than 2,000 of them, and so I have seen it, not all, but, you know, with all the kinds of perspective like that. I know that there will be infinite ways for you to experience it, and etc. etc. So yes, I understand your amazement, but the technical part is what is gonna make you progress, rather than, you know, floating in the air and wondering why am I floating and how and what the heck is going on, or who is that little monster trying to touch me while I'm having a sleep paralysis. Personally, I don't give a shit. I go technically about it, and nothing can stop me there. And that is what I propose to you guys. Work on it technically, and the mystical mumbo jumbo, I don't give a shit. And it's not that I'm a closed person. I did study that for years. I heard these things already many times. I have studied them many times, and simple way to have your own truth. You don't need to listen to me. You don't need to listen to anybody. Is experience. So I propose to you the experience, and I give you as well the tools to challenge what somebody will tell you. You know, somebody will come. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, but when you go and learn in this community, that community, something, get some tools and challenge the information. And if you can challenge it, then you have your answer. So it doesn't mean that you have to become a close person to mysticism, spiritualism, etc. I consider myself a kind of spiritual guy, but probably not in the terms that somebody else wishes me to be. It's a very personal thing. So I pretty much challenged many mystical, out-of-body, astral shit, and it simply doesn't make any sense. And you understand very quickly when, as experience goes, you understand very quickly how your intent works, and what is the part of you know, your thought process, how it works, what kind of influence it has. So you can imagine all this information that you get from someone, how it's gonna influence you. So as the experience begins, you will be victim of your own self there, by projecting things you do not necessarily want. And sometimes you will be in a certain situation, you have that kind of program background thinking inside you, so you will be facing a situation, and because you are not very careful about what's going on through your mind, you will not notice that you actually had this kind of thought process going inside you, and then hence manifesting. You know, sometimes just a feeling is enough to materialize a certain environment, certain situation in the dream state. So it's very quickly for you to make quick conclusions about where you are and what it is, because you have read something, heard somebody talking, some horror movies, somebody, you know, telling you some grandma stories. You need to really, if you really want to take my good advice there, empty as much as you can, stop all that rubbish, and have your own experience for you to have a free experience without depending on any kind of grandma story. So there is a lot of misunderstanding is going on in the community. It has been propagated for years. We have a big cloud, mystical cloud on it since years, and communities are growing that way. And guys just pop in and they think they are mystical, and they have some some supernatural. It's just. Now I look like I'm ranting, and but I mean that's the reality, you know. It's the reality of it. Is that and very quickly, if you talk to the guys, you realize they have very, very, very small experience. So they go, they manifest, they come back, they tell you stories. How many experience do you have? 50. Okay, so you know, normal guy, one experience per month. So that's the frequency, you know. So the guy in 3 years have, if he's lucky, 30 experiences, and from 1 month to another, do you think he has time, he or she has time to work technically, to work out something? Absolutely not. Every 1 month it's a surprise. So when the surprise comes, what's going on? But you act with a surprise, you forget what you are supposed to do. The guys don't have a regular practice, so they cannot work on these issues at all. You need to have once a week or twice a week. So for just interesting information, statistically, guys who have 1 or 2 times a week, it's a very, very healthy frequency. That means you are already in the, probably, I think you are in the 5% of all the community who is practicing or having interest in it. So we take out all the rest of Earth who heard about it but never practiced. Just those who are in the groups already having interest, started to do something. Only 5% are having 1 or 2 times per week. So you see, 5%. And some so-called teachers do not have this kind of experience either. They pretend they have, but they don't. And it's very easy for an experienced guy to know who is experienced and who is not. So I don't want to rant, I don't want to say, but well, the truth will come out sooner or later anyway. And those who practice things this way, they either they have to wake up and understand that it has no reality whatsoever. You need to look very carefully into your belief system. Look what is a belief and what is a knowledge. And if you are still victim of the beliefs, or if you have chosen to have some beliefs, you need to choose them and know that you have chosen them and treat them as such. Belief is a belief. It's not something that necessarily works or has to, but in the dream state it will, because the dynamics of the dream state are such that the thought patterns or something that you goes through your mind will be manifested, materialized, etc. Okay, so that's another thing, that's another pointer for you guys to look out after. I had my awakening. Okay, Luigi join. Oh, that's another teacher there. We have another teacher in the live here. Ariella Strauss. I had my awakening earlier this year and still learning. I call it the Sensate awakening. Is it related to the OA? It was something to do with Sensate or something. No, it's a series, Sense8, right? Sense, there is a 8. There's a series like that, Sensate awakening, because all of my senses are heightened. Can't wait to learn more. I have AP, the remote views, etc. Okay, yeah, sure. But the more you focus, Ariella, the more you focus on things and start to learn, there is no. It shouldn't be a problem to progress. Guys, don't be shy. If you have a question, throw it at me. Otherwise, we will try to end up before 1 hour, make it short, so that people don't get scared to watch something that is, beyond 1 hour. So I give you 1 or 2 minutes to think about you have something, don't be shy, throw it at me. And I will give you my point of view on this. Yeah, so other than that, So again, the next workshop will be this Sunday. This is day number 3, and then the next will be on next Sunday, next week. If you are watching this live and you would like to get more information about the workshop, put a comment, put a plus, or interested by the workshop, something like that. If you watch a retransmission, the same, you can put a comment there, or just contact me directly and I will put you in touch with the information. I put a link to I just updated the page yesterday. I hope I don't have errors there. I did it quickly. My eyes were a little bit tired. I updated all the information about day 1, day 2, day 3, etc. So you can access that. Arila, yes, the Netflix show Sense8 helped, but studied the actual work. But yeah, senses. You know, something I was wondering. You know, I wish it was some extra sensory thing, but I wonder what it is now. You know, sometimes we close eyes, and you can see through the closed eyes, but it's not a dreaming build-up. It's a see-through situation where you can see at least you can see the contours of things. It's not an after image. You already close your eyes for 5-10 minutes, you know, doing some kind of meditation, and then suddenly you start to have a vision of the place where you are. So you can, you know, see let's say the border of your chair or of your bed. Or like, for example, I have this, so you will see the borders of this, maybe the curtains, you know, something like this. So you start to see these things. So the interesting part was, so I knew it's not a dream build-up, or how I know that is it's difficult to tell. It's by experience probably. So it's a kind of see-through situation. And then I realized that, but you can try to do that. Is that instead, because when you practice dreaming techniques, you don't want to move something, move your physical hand or leg or head, because if you do that, you will trigger the physicality for you to come back shift back to your physical senses. So, but okay, so just try it. If you have that vision, next time, try to move your hand slowly. So I advise to move it slowly. I mean, if you see your hands, for example, move your hands slowly. And the interesting part is that you can actually see your hand moving, and that's a physical hand. It's nothing to do with the dreaming hand or dreaming body. It's not a dream hand. It's your actual hand that you can see. But now I sound mystical, but okay, it's a real experience. So I was wondering, actually, you know, if we do have this, you know, some frequencies go through our body, you know, and so certain frequencies can probably go through go through closed eyelids. And so it's fun. It's a funny thing to observe. So if you meditate, for example, with your eyes closed, you know, you sometimes you will encounter that. So try to move, and you will see actually the actual movement of your hands, and you know. But I find that once you start moving the hand or something, it will break the experience. But do it, never mind, it will break it. Do it anyway, because it's fun to do, you know, to see your hand with or something, you know, your bed or your environment with your eyes closed. It's quite interesting. So it's something to do with photons, I think, because so it's like I think it's my explanation of that is that when you meditate, or your head is not moving, you see. Okay, I'll try to be as clear as I can. Let's say you have a light in front of you, a bright light, very bright, the sun. Let's take the sun. The sun is shining on you. If you look on the sun for 1 or 2 seconds and do not burn your eyes, hopefully, like I said, just for 1 to 2 seconds, what happens after? You turn away and you have the after image, right? So you can't see anything at that spot, at that particular spot of your vision. Your vision goes to 160 degrees, something like that. At that particular spot where the sun was, it's an after image, and you cannot see anything there for a while. So it's like your vision is impaired. Same thing goes when you just open your eyes in the morning from darkness to light. Too much light, your eyes are not adjusted. You can't see what's going on. So if you have bright light, the same, you blind some spots on you. So I think what's going on there is that we have maybe the pineal gland that is maybe having some cones, or maybe our own eyes are capable to receive other kinds of free frequencies. Because with the way I see it is, it's in the darkness. Definitely is in the darkness, because if there is light, you will not see your room or your hands or something like that. So it has to be it doesn't have to be complete darkness. A little bit of light is fine. Kelly is another of my students. Join. He's in Thailand. Tomorrow, Kelly. Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow. After tomorrow. After tomorrow. For you, it will be Sunday. Yeah. So the thing is with this is that I think this capability to see with eyes closed, it has to be something not too bright, just bright enough to go through. Otherwise, it will blind your vision, like a sun. It's too bright, so you can't see anything else. So it has to be just a bit of light, or kind of moonlight at home, just a night light somewhere, or your curtains are closed, but you can still see everything, So with your eyes closed, and then what happens, because you move, you change the photons input while you are immobile. The photons only arrive in one place, and when you start moving, they start to bombard your receptors in different places. Hence, you lose the vision. So I think it's something to do like this, and maybe that could be one theory why the vision is getting lost of that extra. So Ariella probably will be very happy to hear this story of extrasensory vision with eyes closed. It's a real experience. I'm not making some mystical jokes with you. I mean, you will experience this. I mean, it's nothing mystical there. It really happens. If you never did, just pay attention. If you, especially upon awakenings, if you doze off, don't open your eyes and see if you see something. So yeah. And the second theory, I think, is probably maybe it's related to the dream state, and then once you start moving your head or something, so maybe the dream state is activating this kind of vision. Who knows? I don't know. But it's not a dream vision. It's actually the vision through the closed eyelids. You can see something. The eyes are really closed. It's not like and I still see something. No. It's very bright. It looks like Hi, Kelly. Okay, so I said we close within 1 hour. So I think now it's 57 minutes, so I'm within 1 hour. I don't want to make it too long. Just 1 hour. If no questions, question. Can you actually meet other souls in astral projection? But I haven't met in person. I haven't experienced in this case, but wanted to know if it's possible. Ariella, I do not want to say yes. No, I don't want to be the judge. I kind of focusing on the techniques, and my personal opinion does not to have any weight on you. Yes, no. You see, I could be, take the ranks of a mystic and say, oh, I know everything about souls, and that would be lying. So I don't want to lie to you. I tell you the truth. I don't want to make up stories. I have thousands of experiences. I wish you the best to have your own experiences and your own point of view on life, etc. And I do not want. I really take this camp of being neutral. I don't want to say yes, no. I don't want to take any camp. I just say I hate when people say things that they do not really know. I hate that, and I don't want to tell you just because I think it's. I think the world is complicated enough, just to say that. I think it's complicated. I think it's intricate. I think it's amazing. I think amazing things can happen. Yes, it's much more complicated than what we know today, that's for sure. But go and call something soul, this, ethereal body, subtle body, astral body. It's all labels, it's all words and labels. So I try to get away from it, because every time we put a label, we have this, weight that comes with a label. So for myself, I try not to do that, because every time is like painting the world with your own paint, and the world is something else. So I do not want to paint it. I don't want it to, dimensions, multi-dimensions, and work on the techniques. I think it's the best is to work out the technical parts, so that you are not disarmed. And then once you have your technical parts that are being settled, then you can work on whatever vision of the world that is interesting for you. You can start to work on it. It's much better to do it that way, rather than go to the mystical part that will blind you from applying the right techniques. You see, so it's much better that way. You get the weapons first, and then you go to war, rather than go to war and have I didn't know I need a weapon. You need to know technically how to behave with the environment of astral projection, out of body experience, lucid dreaming, the phase shift. Okay, you need to know the dynamics. Once you know the dynamics, you understood the dynamics, then the exploration begins. So come to my workshop, be my guest. I will train you. If you are really serious about it, I can train you, and then you're absolutely free to explore from the soul perspective, energetic. Your interest can be as wide as it can get. I will never say yes, no to anything blindly. I am not a closed person. My doors are open. I just hate when people say things that they don't know or they have no idea. So personal experiences are important, but putting the personal experiences as an importance for somebody else to follow is a big mistake, in my opinion. It's not fair to project personal experiences on other guys who have absolute freedom to experience their life in a free way. So that's my take on it. So I propose freedom, and I propose things that work. So, and that is outside of any kind of belief system. I have a learning system, yes, but I do not have a system for you to integrate and become a spiritualist, a mystic, out of body explorer. I do not put any label there. You will be a free person after my webinar to become a out of body explorer, sensate, anything else you want to do. I teach the dynamics, how it works. That's my focus. After this, when we are friendly environment, I can put my shit on you, you put your shit on me. That's another story with a beer. That's okay. But as teaching concerned, I cannot do that. As a teacher, I do not allow myself to put my personal opinions on you. So I'm sorry, but no sorry. Okay, guys, 1 hour and 3 minutes, gonna be 4 minutes. So we close the live. I hope you learned something. It helps you on your journey. And see you in class. If you join us, we have a wonderful group right now, working very well. See you soon again. I'll probably do another live cast with Kerry on Monday, Tuesday, something like that. You have a good weekend ahead, and my apprentices, see you on Sunday, 8 o'clock Malaysian time. It will be 5-6 in the afternoon for US, and it will be 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning for Europe. See you guys. You have a good weekend ahead. Ciao.
Enjoy your freedom, amazing freedom in the dreams. And if you like what I do, please like my videos so that I know you enjoy the content I produce. Subscribe to the channel and activate the notifications so that you know when some new content and new video is being posted. And I promise to produce at least one per week. So on a weekly basis, you're gonna have some nice tricks from me to help you out on your journey, and this is entirely free, so join the channel. See you guys again. Yuri Zaritsky from Lucidity for All signing out. Ciao guys.